What's up, guys? Welcome back to another week of the A-Game.
Join us as we recap this week in App State sports and follow us on Instagram at the A-Game Sports for weekly updates on App State sporting news and the latest on-set action.
Mountaineer Spotlight host Jay Boyd interviews forward Tyrell Johnson. And stay tuned as we crown a brand new Player of the Week.
I'm Gray Salter.
And I'm Austen Lopp.
And this is
the A-Game.
The App State men's basketball team earned a great win on Saturday, defeating Coastal Carolina 88-79 at the Holmes Convocation Center. 5 Mountaineers scored in double figures, including Ronshad Shabazz, who scored a team-high 20 points. Justin Forrest added 18 points of his own and tied a season high of 9 made free throws. Isaac Johnson put up 14 points, while Adrian Delph and Tyrell Johnson scored 11 points each. The Mountaineers shot 53.7% from the field and managed to hold the Chanticleers shooting to just 38.2%. App State will be looking to build on this victory as they face Georgia State at home this Thursday. And Austin, the Mountaineers have been playing good at home. The away has been their trouble, but at home they've been pretty solid. What did you see from them in that win against Coastal Carolina?
Well, I saw a lot of positive things from this team. Obviously, they went 53.7% from the field. You're scoring 88 points. That's pretty impressive as it is, and that's not going to happen unless you're scoring those big points. They shot 38.1% from three in this game. They're actually sitting in 4th place in the Sun Belt in three-point percentage. So those big buckets, again, come to those big numbers, big scores, and they end up sitting 3rd place in the Sun Belt in offensive efficiency. But we saw our guys get it done, too. Ronshad Shabazz had his 20 points. 5 players in double digits again. We saw that a lot over that short little win streak we had, the 3 straight. We saw those guys. We had 5 guys scoring. So that's really big for this team, is getting a lot of players active and putting the puzzle pieces together. Justin Forrest, he had 18 points. He's driving to the rim really well. He's 6'2", so he gets into the paint. It's easy for him to get fouled, and he's going to the line. So that's really impressive, and I like to see that later in the season, and it gives me a lot of hope for sure.
No doubt. I think their offensive efficiency, especially at home, has been really good. For some reason, those guys, those support players, you said 5 Mountaineers in double figures, something about being at home helps guys support Ronshad Shabazz and Justin Forrest just a little bit better than they do on the road. We've been talking about it all semester. We're not really sure why, but when they get to the home center, it seems the rest of that supporting cast really feels the need to step up and show out at home, and they've definitely been doing that. Definitely some things to work on still, though. They attempted 36 free throws in that game. We're only 61% from the line. So that's pretty tough when you consider that's a lot of free baskets at the line you're getting. They've been relatively solid from the line this year, but that's certainly something they need to improve on. From that game, at least, is free throw shooting. Those are free opportunities you're getting. And then Justin Forrest, 9 for 18 free throw percentage. That's part of that conversation as well. 50% from a guard. You're looking for a little more than that. A lot of those guys shooting up over 70, 80% sometimes from the line. And he traditionally is a good shooter, but for some reason the line the other night was a struggle for the Mountaineers. Also, 20 points on 15 App State turnovers, something to be cut down. It is impressive, though, that they still were able to come out with that win despite 15 turnovers. And then Coastal last place in steals, obviously forcing those 15 turnovers. That becomes maybe a concern just keeping care of the ball. As a head coach, Jim Fox, you want to know your team's comfortable with the basketball, that they're not turning the ball over, giving other teams extra opportunities to score. And you give up 15 turnovers against one of the worst stealing teams in the conference, that becomes maybe something to look at. For sure.
And Coastal, as a team, is actually this is a pretty impressive win for App State if you really look at it. Coastal actually has the 3rd best scoring defense in the Sun Belt. They average only allowing 71.9 points per game. So for App State to have this explosion on offense and score 88 on this team is really impressive.
Almost 9 points higher than their season average.
And it shows what we can do, if we really get all the puzzle pieces working together. And it's right back to the whole thing we talk about with the away games. If we could just get this equation figured out and take it other places, it would be so much easier, because not only did, we have an offensively good night, but if you look at the defense, Coastal never got within 5 points after App State took the lead early in the second half.
Right.
So they were able to withhold them and keep them down. And
down the stretch has been somewhere where they've struggled
Absolutely.
too.
So the fact that they were able to keep that deficit, and we see a lot of their games come down really, really close. And it kind of goes 50-50 on which direction it goes, but it definitely helped it. Coastal shot 31.6% in the second half. App State was able to just take over from that, and there was some good pressure from the defense as well, and just a bad shooting night overall. Coastal shot 38.2% overall for the whole night. So just a lot of things that went together for this team to come out with a big win. And I saw that Ron Chad Shabazz and Coach Fox both said that they're super excited that this could be a point when their season takes a big turnaround. So
it definitely could. That's the first game of a 3-game homestand.
Right.
2 more home games coming next week, or I guess this coming week, Thursday and Saturday. So that'll be exciting for the Mountaineers. Hopefully to maybe string together 3 wins in a row at home and then take that on the road. And like we keep saying, they're 1-13 on the road, I believe. Find a way to win a game away from home.
And those are big games here at home, too. Georgia State sits at second in the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern sits in third. So these are statement wins that, like you said, we need to have before we go on to the next step in these away games where we have to get some wins to turn the season around for sure.
No doubt.
So join us after the break for this week's Q&A game and a recap of tennis and women's basketball. Stay tuned.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Hey guys, it's Holland, and we are back at it for this week's episode of the Q&A game. Today we have Clay with us, and my first question for you, what position would you play on the App State basketball team?
I think I'd probably try to be a center. Yeah.
Okay. So you like to get those rebounds, like get some blocks in there?
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
So James, what position would you play on the App State basketball team?
Point guard.
Point guard? Got some handles you like
I'm
to
agile.
dribble? You're agile? Okay, all right. What's your favorite all-time sports movie?
Favorite all-time sports movie? I mean, it's got to be The Sandlot.
The Sandlot?
It's a classic movie. I've watched that movie ever since I was a kid.
Incredible movie.
It's true.
What's your favorite all-time sports movie?
Ooh, that's kind of a hard one. I always get Remember the Titans, and that's a movie, right? Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Okay, that one.
That's a sports movie.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Second question. Let's say, what's your favorite, all-time favorite sports movie?
Ooh, that's an easy one, actually. The Sandlot.
Sandlot.
Yeah,
okay.
that's kind of a really relatable story.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Yeah.
And finally, what's your favorite sport?
Probably hockey.
Hockey? Okay, so it's late in the third period. You're down by 1 goal, and you just sniped it top left to tie the game, send it to overtime. What's your go-to celebration?
Snap the hockey stick over my knee and go for the enemy mascot.
What's your favorite sport?
I have to go with football.
Gotta go with football? Okay, so late in the fourth quarter, you're on about the 30-yard line, and you go up to catch a pass in the end zone, crowd's going crazy. What is your go-to celebration?
You know, I'd probably just, I'd get the ball, I would put it on the ground, I'd do a little dance around it, maybe put my hands up a little bit, you know, tease the crowd a little bit.
You praise to the football gods?
Oh, of course.
That's one of the best answers I've ever received. This has been the Q&A game. Back to you guys.
App State's women's basketball team fell short against Coastal Carolina on Saturday, losing 74-66. The Mountaineers fought back from a 17-point deficit, cutting the Chanticleers' lead to just 3, but were unable to close out the game. App State struggled against Coastal, shooting just 12 of 23 from the free throw line and 40% from the field. The game was highlighted by Mountaineers' Brooke Biggett, Tierra Wilson, and Maya Calder, who scored a combined 31 points off the bench. App State will be on the road again this week, facing Georgia State on Thursday and Georgia Southern on Saturday.
The App State men's tennis team lost 4-0 last Sunday against a tough opponent in East Carolina. The Mountaineers were unable to secure a single victory against the Pirates, who have won 25 of their last 31 matches at home. App State will return to action against Furman in Greenville, South Carolina this Saturday.
App State women's tennis earned a 4-3 victory on Wednesday against Eastern Tennessee State. Mountaineers Heidi Swope and Maria Jose Zacharias picked up a 6-4 win in their doubles match, with Swope going on to win her singles match later that day. App State ended the day with wins in 2 doubles matches and 3 singles matches. The women's tennis team got back into action on Saturday against UNC Greensboro, rallying from a 3-1 deficit to win the match 4-3. Mountaineers Kate Earnhardt, Heidi Swope, and Rebecca Morse led the charge, winning each of their singles matches to get the win for App State. The Mountaineers will travel to Chapel Hill this Tuesday to take on the number 2 ranked North Carolina Tar Heels.
After the break, Mountaineer Spotlight host Jay Boyd interviews Tyrell Johnson of the App State men's basketball team, and we wrap up this week in App State sports. Stay tuned.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Jay Boyd here from Mountaineer Spotlight with senior forward Tyrell Johnson. How's your season going?
I think it's going pretty good. Before the season, I want to come out and be more aggressive this year. In my senior season, I want to lead with a bang. So I've been looking for my offense a little more this season, still trying to defend, still trying to block shots. So I think it's going pretty well, and I think it's going to start showing soon.
You've done multiple different things for this basketball team. They had you playing the 3. Now they have you guarding some more positions now in your senior season. You're coming off the bench now. You were starting earlier this season. How has it been like to change roles multiple times and have to fill a role for this team?
It's not really that difficult at all. I mean, because I know what Coach asks me to do, and I try to go out there and just do whatever I can to make that happen. Even if it's guarding a big, a guard, a point guard, it really doesn't matter. I just try to make it difficult on the opposing team.
You guys have a home stretch now. You play Coastal tomorrow, Saturday, and then next week you'll have Georgia State and Georgia Southern here at home. What are you looking for in these last couple home games?
We're looking to have a big crowd, support us, come out and give us energy, get the 3 wins, get those 3 big wins.
What's been the most important thing to you in your senior season here?
I think teaching the young guys. We got a lot of young. I know we got 7 seniors this year, so it's going to be a lot of change next year. So we're just trying to get the young guys to understand how to lead the upcoming freshmen coming in.
You were once in their role. Now, you being a senior leader on this basketball team, what have you been trying to give those guys to help them make that transition?
Just no days off, man. Even if it's practice, if we're off one day, still just get in the gym, still work on your craft, still work on shooting, dribbling, defending, even if you just learn the plays, running our offense, because we got kind of difficult offense to run. I know it took me a while, so I just try to enlighten them with it.
Adrian Delph has done a great job defending the perimeter this freshman season. What's been his biggest thing as he makes the change to this level?
I think Adrian had a college body coming in. I mean, I think he, you could tell in high school, he was just a monster in high school, dunking, defending, and I think it just pays off well. He's just a great athlete, and I think it helps on the defensive end.
What are you guys as seniors tried to do to keep this team motivated as you move through the season?
We just try to say one game at a time. Because I know the season wasn't going as we wanted to, but now we're just looking at it one game at a time. Try to get this win on Saturday, and then we'll focus on the Georgia teams next week.
You guys have had a pretty good crowd in the last couple of home games. What has it meant for you to play 4 years at the home center?
It's been big. I can see how our fans really starting to come. I know freshman year we didn't get that much support throughout the years. I think they're starting to show us a lot of love.
What type of motivation has Jim Fox given you guys as you move through the end of your season?
I mean, it's just great. He's always saying every possession. If you want to win, you got to do it every possession, and it really shows because we lose on some on small things sometimes. Losing by 1 point, I think the last 4 tough losses. So we just try to take one possession at a time.
What are you going to miss most about playing here at App State?
My teammates, most definitely. I grew a bond with them guys. I call them my brothers.
Absolutely. Tyrell Johnson, Jay Boyd, here from Mountaineer Spotlight. Back to you guys.
The App State softball team dominated the Aggies of North Carolina A&T in a back-to-back 5-inning shutouts this past weekend. The Mountaineers won 15-0 in Game 1 and 12-0 in Game 2. App State will get back into action this weekend in the Holy City Showdown in Charleston, South Carolina.
The domination continued as App State Wrestling picked up a huge 43-0 victory against the Davidson Wildcats on Tuesday, winning all 10 matches and earning bonus points in 7 of them. App State held Davidson to only 1 takedown in all 10 matches. Mountaineers Irvin Enriquez and Michael Elliott both earned victories by pinfall. Thomas Flitz, Alan Clothier, Randall Diabe, and Cody Russell defeated their opponents by major decision. The Mountaineers are unofficially ranked number 28th in the NWCA coaches poll.
App State's men's and women's cross-country teams have been named to the All-Academic Teams for the 2018 season by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. To qualify for this award, each team needed a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher on a 4.0 scale.
App State's Gable Dersham was named the Sunbelt Men's Track Athlete of the Week last week after an impressive performance at the Darius Dixon Invitational. Dersham currently has the top time in the Sunbelt for 5,000-meter run this season and will be competing in the Sunbelt Championships this week.
When we come back, we'll crown this week's Player of the Week. Stay tuned.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Now it's time for our Player of the Week.
Our Player of the Week this week is none other than women's tennis player Heidi Swope, who is currently 4-0 in her singles matches this season, the best start of her career. Swope played a pivotal role in both App State women's tennis matches this week, winning a doubles and singles match against East Tennessee State and a singles match against UNCG.
Very, very impressive stuff from Swope. But that's it for this week's episode of The A-Game. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to give us a follow on Instagram at The A-Game Sports for all the latest A-Game content. But wrapping up here in the studio, I'm Gray Salter.
And I'm Austen Lopp. Join us next week. Thanks for watching, guys.